There are just 6 hours to go on deadline day of the January transfer window. There is all sorts of activity going on up and down the country. At the start of the day, the big story was Fernando Torres, who was on his way to Chelsea from Liverpool. But that has now been blown out of the water completely by the news in the last hour that Liverpool appeared to have had a £35 million bid for the striker Andy Carroll rejected by Newcastle. The fee would have made Carroll the 8th highest transfer of all time, and this is the bit that gets me because he's played just one half of the season in the Premier League, scored 11 goals, picked up 1 international cap. Now, bearing in mind that David Villa went to Barcelona for £34 million and that the World Cup semi-finalist Luis Suarez went to Anfield from Ajax for £26 million, then it is complete and utter madness for me. A figure that is just incredible, and the reason why so many clubs either try to develop their own talent or end up looking abroad. Andy Carroll is no way a 40, 35 million or even 30 million player in a million years. And just one final thought for the time being on Carroll: as well as being the 8th most expensive signing of all time, Liverpool would also be getting a player who was outscored in the Championship last season by Peter Whittingham, Nicky Maynard, Gary Hooper, Michael Chopra and Charlie Adam. And just sticking with Charlie Adam, there's been lots of rumours doing the rounds that Manchester United currently outbidding Liverpool for the Blackpool midfielder. That would be around about £8-9 million. That one's come from the clouds, raised a few eyebrows to be fair in the Spy office, but we think Liverpool might still win that race. We'll stay on top of that one for you. Elsewhere, market in Spain reporting that Spurs, who had their own bid of £25 million for Carroll, turned down at the weekend. They've moved for the Atletico Madrid striker Diego Forlan. From what we understand, Spurs chairman Daniel Levy now taking control of negotiations as he wants to get at least one deal done by the 11 p.m. deadline tonight. Spurs already failed, as you know, with their bid for Forlan's Atletico Madrid strike partner Sergio Aguero. He signed a new contract with his club. We told you this morning that Spurs attempted to smash the British transfer record with that bid, but his unwillingness to leave has indeed been illustrated by him signing a contract extension. Now, time for your messages, and a big thank you to our friends at Football Manager for sending us 5 copies of the latest game to give away. We'll be doing that a bit later on this evening. We've decided we're going to hand a few of them out as consolation prizes, so if you've got the answer right in our Premier League shirt competition, then stay tuned. Quite rightly, Josh Kehoe isn't taken in by the Liverpool boss Kenny Dalglish. He insisted earlier, as you know, that Torres isn't going anywhere. Josh says here, well, Kenny said he isn't leaving, but if it's anything like the Babel transfer, I think he's off. Kenny said that Babel wasn't going anywhere either. Also, I just got to tell, well, as you know, with Babel, he said that he wasn't leaving and he ended up going to Hoffenheim. I'm going to send you a Football Manager game, Josh, because you obviously aren't taking no for an answer on any other transfers. Lots and lots of your messages coming in on spy@mirror.co.uk. Lots of news. Swarop's asking if the deal to take David Luiz from Benfica to Chelsea is off. From what we're hearing, Chelsea trying to resurrect that before the deadline. Mr. Jacob wants to know if Arsenal are going to do anything. Well, Arsene Wenger's always said that he'd only move for a defender, and only if Thomas Vermaelen looked as though he'd be out for some time. So we'll keep you posted on that, but it doesn't look as though there's going to be any action at the Emirates. Let's bring you some European transfer news, and the German club Wolfsburg look to have tied up a deal for the striker Jefferson Farfan. In Italy, Brescia have announced the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo from Fiorentina on a 2-year contract. Also in Italy, AC Milan, they've announced the signing of Nicola Legratali from Juventus on a 6-month contract. Barcelona sporting director Andoni Zubizarreta is confident that Dani Alves will sign a new contract at the club. And the promising striker Freddy Adu, I don't think we can call him promising anymore, he's been loaned by Benfica to the Turkish club Rizespor. Now, back in England, in the lower leagues, Leeds have been bolstered. They've bolstered their goalkeeping options by signing Man City's David Gonzalez on loan. Leeds also keen on the Blackpool midfielder Keith Southern. Paul Jewell's Ipswich Town, they've announced a signing of midfielder Andy Drury from Luton. But let's get back into the Premier League, and this is interesting. You know all about Andy Johnson being out for 3 months after being injured at the weekend. Well, Man City made an approach for the Birmingham midfielder Sebastian Larsson on loan from St Andrews to replace him. I wonder what Sean Wright-Phillips thinks of that. It was presumed he would step into Johnson's position. That now doesn't look to be the case. Just bringing a few more as well. Obafemi Martins, a striker, he signed for Birmingham on a 6-month loan deal from Rubin Kazan. The Dutch attacker Nasser Barazit has joined Austria Vienna on a free transfer from Arsenal. Just as we told you he would, Andy Reid, he's joined Blackpool until the end of the season. And the young striker Ruben Rashida, he's about to be signed by Blackburn from Barcelona. At Gerard Houllier at Aston Villa, he should complete the signing of midfielder Michael Bradley from Borussia Mönchengladbach before the deadline. And James Beattie, he's having a medical at Blackpool ahead of a proposed move to Rangers. Still no news to bring you from Spurs. They need a striker, and they've been focusing all of their attentions on Spain so far. They also need a midfielder. Will they get Phil Neville from Everton or Lassana Diarra from Real Madrid? Stay tuned to the Football Spy Show for all the breaking transfer news. Our next show is scheduled for 8 p.m. I'll see you next time.